Thank you for coming to our panel here on Heroes of Extinction, which is a project that Jerry Cornell created, and Joshua and I and Jason and Ervik and Veronica and Gwen have been working on. It is an interesting project that involves a lot of former and current Disney talent.
I thought we were here to sing. So.
Well, we should have rehearsed then. So.
Main Street reunion.
Yeah. Well, I'll let Jerry first tell you a little bit about about how he came up with the idea and how the whole thing was put together. I'll tell you a bit about the project, about give you a synopsis of it, and then we'll introduce our cast, and then play you some clips.
So can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
So I don't know if anybody knows about theme parkology. I produce documentaries on theme parks, attractions, and we do interviews with a lot of people that are affiliated with the attractions like Bob Gurr, Rolly Crump, Terry Harding, people like that, and they talk about the attractions that they work on. And one day I was just happening to think, I'd like to expand the company a little bit, do something different. And I thought, let's do some audio shows. I love audio shows. I grew up listening to some audio vinyls, LP. Kids probably don't know what that is, but they're big, look like a CD but bigger. But I would listen to it over and over, and I thought, yeah, let's do it. I came up with an idea because I'm getting up there. I'm 56 this year, and my grandkids are I can't keep up with them. So I'm really feeling like it's getting harder to get up in the morning. It's getting harder to do things. So I thought it'd be interesting if a superhero goes through that. What would it be like if the lead hero is starting to get old and he's starting to lose his powers and he's aching every morning and stuff? And I came up with the concept called Heroes of Extinction. And I actually found a writer, Samantha Albin, who did an amazing job with 7 episodes, and we started working on it. Andrew, you want?
Yeah. So the storyline of the project is Gabriel Cohen is a superhero named True Strike. He has been a superhero pretty much all his life. It's the only job he's ever known. He is the defender of the city of Metro Heights. But as Jerry said, now he's turning 50, and his body is aging. And he got his powers from this alien collective named Skyo, who gives him his super strength, his super speed, and his ability to teleport. But now that he's older, his body's not connecting with that technology like it used to. And he isn't as reliable as a superhero. And the collective, who also speaks to him in his head, sort of like an intergalactic Siri, says to him, you must find your successor, someone who is young and pure of heart like you were. Well, while this is happening, someone or a group of people, we don't know yet, are systematically taking out the superheroes and the supervillains. And there's been a rash of these mutant creatures, half human, half animal creatures, poisonous creatures that are killing people in the city. And Gabriel needs to stop this. And the love of his life, a scientist who may have been involved with these mutant creatures, has been killed by one of them. So now he has to mourn her death, stop these creatures by banding together with the remaining heroes and villains in the city, find out who's behind all of this, and find and train his successor. So,
yeah, I'm glad he told the story. I would give it all away.
I have a little restraint here.
Here's the twist. And
it all ends with, no.
Happily ever after.
So we have, like Jerry said, we got a wonderful group of people working on this thing. Samantha Albin and Jay Bresevar are the writers. Jerry is the creator of the show and the main producer and editor of the project. I'm the co-producer, director, and narrator, which means I ended up with more lines than anybody else. Yeah. I gotta tell you what you can't see. Peter Alden stars.
You're also the editor on a couple.
Yeah, I'm also the editor of a couple of episodes as well. Peter Alden stars as Gabriel Cohen, aka True Strike, who is just a marvelous performance from him. Isaac Singleton Jr., who was in Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl. He was also on The Mandalorian and on in film Galaxy Quest, and is the voice of Thanos for all of the Disney Marvel animation and games. He plays our sort of anti-hero named Fractus. We have Courtney Schaefer, who is also a wonderful performer, playing a couple of roles for us in this. Well, if you know the name Mary Gibbs, Boo from Monsters Incorporated, she is Janessa Jensen, who is the young woman that Gabriel finds as his replacement and has to train her. And Mary is just, she is this character. She is this sort of gonzo superhero in real life. We have Laura Oliver, who also turns in a wonderful performance as the mysterious human blade. We have Fran Gauci, who just tears up the scenery in this. And Fran is an amazing actress, and she is playing the very strange and twisted character of Dr. Penelope Lewis. And Fran actually she has a connection with Disney because she used to work at Walt Disney World as one of the Streetmosphere performers, working at the Disney Studios and also over at Pleasure Island at the Adventurers Club. So we have Jacqueline Liz, who is marvelous as the voice of Skyo, the collective that speaks to Gabriel in his head. We have Michael Yurchek. Is that how you pronounce this? Yurchek, who is a well sought after voice actor in games and television. He voiced characters for Naruto and Legend of Korra and Skylanders and Sailor Moon, and he does a great job as the Fire Reaper. You'll hear him today in this. We have Mark Dodson, who Star Wars fans will know as the voice of Salacious Crumb in Return of the Jedi. He was also the voice of the Gremlins in Gremlins and Gremlins 2. He does a voice for us as well. Eric Walker, who is probably best known for the 2 Ewok TV movies, starring in those as the young Mace Tawani. You get that for me? Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always.
If it's my lawyer, tell him I'm suing him. We have Michael Gray, who, if you remember the Shazam TV series, he was Billy Batson on that show. He's voicing a character for us. We have John Provost, who was Timmy on the old Lassie TV series. He's voicing a character for us, and of course he has a Disney connection as well too, because he was in Computer Wore Tennis Shoes. In fact, he just posted his latest royalty check was like $4 for that. I posted that on Facebook. His wife, Lori Jacobson, who is a fantastic writer and actress, she is voicing a character for us, along with Raven Green from the Creature Features show, Mr. Livingston from Creature Features, if any of you watched that, and Mr. Lobo, famed horror show host from Cinema Insomnia. The three of them, Lori, Raven, and Mr. Lobo, are the mysterious triad. What are they involved with in this? Kenny James, who's the voice of Bowser from the Super Mario Brothers games. He voices a character. He voices the character of Jason Jensen, Janessa's father. And we have Veronica Loud, my wife back there, who is the wonderful voice actress, and she is the voice of Caroline Jensen, who's the mother of Janessa Jensen. Veronica has a connection to Disney and Star Wars as well. She worked on the visual effects for Phantom Menace as a visual effects photographer. She was also in the Disney film Angels in the Outfield and on the ABC Disney TV show Final Witness. We have Irving Aquino right here, who has a history with Lucasfilm, and he is playing Master Shen, who is the sensei who has been training Janessa before Gabriel meets up with her. And then we have these two guys, Joshua Schaefer and Jason Braden, who these guys are our go-to for every time we need a voice. We know these guys can deliver. They do a fantastic job, and of course Joshua, has a Disney connection with his wonderful books on his fun facts about Disney, and Jason is just remarkable with all his different voices. And then we also have Gwen O'Connor over here, who is doing first time out doing a voice for something and nailed it. Is in a flashback sequence for one of the characters as someone that she knew in high school, and it leads to a big revelation about one of the characters in this. So
I also have a cameo.
You also have a cameo. Yes. We won't hear that
Where's
today.
the cameo? I haven't heard it.
It's on the cutting room floor. No,
It's on the editing
but let's give you a little taste of what we're talking about here. So I'm going to run two clips. First one is actually the opening of episode 1, So we'll be introduced to the characters of True Strike, Gabriel Cohen, True Strike, and also Fractus. And then the second clip will feature Joshua here and also Mary Gibb as Janessa and Fractus meet up with this strange mutant creature played by Joshua. So.
Heroes of Extinction. Heroes of Extinction.
Having regrouped, the police are in hot pursuit. Fractus yells and takes off down the alley, leaving the jewels behind. Janessa watches as the officers run right by where he ducked out. She stands and waves her hands.
No. He went that way. He went that way.
No one hears her. She quickly nods. It's up to her. With a new resolve, she stands and chases after Fractus. She may be new at this, but if there's one thing she knows, it's that the bad guys shouldn't get away. The downtown alleyways are like a maze, and in a few minutes, she loses her bearings. She stops. Which way should she go next? A slow clap emerges from behind.
Well, that was a new experience. You know, I've been around for quite a few years, and I don't recall ever running into you, little miss.
Yeah, well, I'm new.
Fractus nods and takes a few steps forward. Janessa steels herself and blows. The wind picks up and begins to howl.
Cute parlor trick. But is that all you got? And more importantly, can you handle this?
Fractus lifts up his leg and stomps on the ground, creating a wave of earth that heads straight for Janessa. Janessa puts her hands out in front of her, and with a swish to the side, she directs the swell to her left, where it crashes into the wall of a building. Fractus stands speechless.
No offense, but I think I'm in love.
A piercing scream cuts through the tension, and they look up in the direction of the sound. A transformed Keith stands on the roof of the building nearest Janessa. Half human, half reptile, he jumps off and quickly scales the wall down to the ground, a long spear held in his tail.
What the hell? Is that one of your friends?
I don't know what that is.
The newly transformed Keith opens his large deformed mouth, and a snake's tongue shoots out and flicks a goopy liquid toward the two. It hits Janessa on the back of the neck, and she stumbles forward, falling face down.
Oh, did I hurt your little girlfriend? Don't worry. She's not dead yet.
The reptile mutant advances at lightning speed with his spear raised. Just as he is about to impale Janessa with it, Fractus summons a force field and blasts the mutant backwards. The monster hits the wall and drops his spear. Fractus hurries over to Janessa, who is violently convulsing and unresponsive, a reaction to the mutant's venom. He picks her up and glances back at the mutant, just as his lizard-shaped mouth opens. Without thinking, Fractus erects a force field around him and Janessa, successfully deflecting the goopy toxin.
Time to go old school.
He punches into the ground, creating a crack in the asphalt, barreling toward the spot where the mutant stands. The reptilian monstrosity attempts to leap over the crack, but is knocked off balance and yelps as one leg is caught in the split. Taking advantage of the distraction, Fractus lifts Janessa over his shoulder and begins to run away, but stumbles as the mutant catches his ankle with his forked tongue and yanks him off his feet.
That was stupid. Now, you're gonna burn.
Heroes of Extinction. So that's just a little sample.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So this project actually started as a COVID lockdown project. There were a lot of us that were just sitting at home, all of us creative types, and when you can't go places and do things, you go squirrely. And so we kind of started it just as something simple, and it grew into this amazing project. And as we got the roles cast, Samantha, our writer, she started playing into the strengths of everybody who had been cast in the roles and started writing these parts and just making it so much better. We would get these scripts, Jerry and I would get the scripts, and we were like, oh my gosh, we didn't know what was going to happen. And then they were just such page turners and everything. But yeah, so it was an interesting process recording this. So everybody ended up not recording like in one place or in one studio. We were recording from home studios, we were recording from home, we were recording from studios we had access to, and then everything would be sent to Jerry and I, and we would clean it up, and Jerry would add the effects and edit everything, and the music. We have also some original music by James Presley, the theme and everything. But I'll let Irving talk about.
Yeah, I actually wanted to point out that it takes a whole team of people to make this just one episode, and everyone's very talented. And I personally think that Joshua's performance as the lizard was phenomenal. But he's in a lot of other episodes.
That's my normal voice.
That's morning. You woke up one morning and just. But you were also in almost every episode. Security guard in another.
And Joshua also is one of these people that is wonderful to bounce ideas off of him too. So
that's actually true. And then Jason here, I love this project, and I love the characters in it, but one of my personal favorite characters is a bartender named Chuck. And when I heard him, and I said, hey, could you twist the Chuck voice a little bit? Do you think you could make it with an accent? And he started talking, and he did it.
Give us a little Chuck.
And I love the guy.
Hey, absolutely. What's up, Gabe? How's it going?
And so he actually becomes a nice little central character where, the heroes have to have some haven that they can go to, that somewhere they can meet, somewhere they can talk, somewhere they can unwind for a moment after each battle, and they end up at the down low where Chuck is the bartender. Yes, But Irving, you can tell a little bit about the process of recording this, because you recorded from home and worked it. So
yeah, it was actually pretty cool. Haven't really done a lot of voice recording before, but got the microphone, had Andrew on Zoom with me at the same time. He gives me directions. I'm shouting out in the microphone, and it was actually really, really interesting. I mean, I didn't have to go into a studio, I didn't have to go anywhere. I was actually in my bedroom, just brought my mic in there, cleaned up everything, and did everything online.
Yeah, and so it was a kind of a fun process to be able to do it that way, because then we didn't have to book time in a studio. Everybody could record from home, and we can do it almost at our own pace. And one of the cool things, just a little aside here, is that when casting this, we tried to find people not only that had the right voice, but there was something intrinsic about them that they fit the character, which is why Mary Gibbs, we have her as this young superhero. If you've seen any of her stuff on social media, she's out on the beach swinging fire over her head, doing amazing things like that. That's the kind of spirit that her character has. Ervik here plays Sensei Master Shen, and he is actually a sensei. He is a black belt in Shotokan karate. And that was what made me think about him at first, and then I realized he's got a great voice, and he's perfect for this character. So,
and he does a great job.
He does a fantastic job. So we've got 2 more sections for you here. The first one that we're going to play is the beginning of episode 3, which starts as a flashback when we meet
Fire Reaper.
We meet the Fire Reaper.
He's really good.
He's very good, yeah. And we also meet Janessa when she's a little girl and her parents on the beach. Played by Veronica Loud and Kenny James here, so we'll play that for you now. And then the second clip is going to be Courtney Schaefer and Fran Gauci in this wonderful, wonderful exchange between these 2 sort of villainous characters here.
Heroes of Extinction.
Mom! Dad! Come see!
Just a minute, sweetheart. We'll be right there.
Caroline Jensen watches her daughter Janessa as she climbs over the rocks of a nearby tide pool. She lets her gaze linger on the young girl a moment longer before turning back to face her husband.
I don't know, Jason. Shouldn't we all be together? I just hate the thought of leaving you behind.
I get it. It's not ideal. But you have to trust me on this. The council made it clear that I was the initiative's next point person. I couldn't bear it if you and Nessa were in the crossfire.
I can't bear it that you are.
Look, we both knew that when I took the job to head up the villain initiative, I'd be putting myself, my name, into the spotlight. We knew it could get dangerous, but the work, stopping the bad guys, that was more important.
Yeah, but that was before we decided to start a family. Things are different now.
What would you have me do, Care? Should I go back into working as a super? Dust off my cape and go back into the line of duty?
I just don't see why any of it is your responsibility anymore.
Jason pulls Caroline into a warm embrace. He kisses the top of her head.
Just think of it as a mini vacation. You and Nessa can go visit your mother on the West Coast.
Yeah, great vacation. You know, you're really not selling this.
Okay, bad choice of words. But still, Care, it'd only be for a few weeks. And you've always said you wanted to take Nessa to Disneyland.
A few weeks seems like such a long time, especially if the threat isn't that big of a deal like you say. And I still don't understand why you have to be the bait. Tell me the truth, Jace. Do I need to be worried?
Jason tightens his arm around Caroline's shoulders, bringing her closer to his chest.
Everything is going to be just fine. Trust me, once the council eliminates the issue, everything will be sorted out. Heck, as soon as you get there, I'll probably be calling you back home.
Caroline leans away and raises an eyebrow, her skepticism of her husband's promises apparent. Jason lifts his hands in mock surrender.
Dang, love. It's a good thing you've got super abilities, because you could kill someone with that glare.
Mom! Dad! Come here! There's a starfish!
Jason glances over and smiles as Janessa holds up the sea creature in her tiny hand.
Come on. Enough of this gloom and doom. Better not keep her waiting.
That's right. You better keep an eye on your daughter, Mr. Jensen. Or shall I say, Earth Mover.
Caroline gasps as the Fire Reaper looms on a nearby boulder. She whips her head around and spots Janessa playing with the starfish, unaware of their new visitor.
How do you know my identity? The council hasn't released it yet. It was supposed to be the lure.
Oh my, don't you know by now? Being the head of the division and all, I just assumed you'd have known that the initiative has their hands in everything. Both sides included.
Caroline tries to stand, but the Fire Reaper shoots a blast of energy just in front of her.
I don't think so.
They have nothing to do with this. This is between me and the initiative. They're human, Reaper. Just let them go.
Now see, that's where you're wrong. I mean, wife here is a lowly human, but that little girl over there, The initiative has reason to believe that little one is of value.
You'll never touch her, you freak.
The Fire Reaper narrows his eyes and focuses his energy on Caroline. Summoning up a scorching ball of heat, he throws it in her direction. Caroline screams, but the blast never hits her. Jason is turned into Earth Mover and deflects the fireball with his own Earth energy out into the ocean where it fizzles into steam.
You'll have to do better than that, Fire Reaper.
Daddy! Mommy!
Janessa comes running towards her parents, oblivious to the danger.
Did you see the steam, Daddy? It was out in the water. A big poof.
Stay away, baby! Do not come over here!
The Fire Reaper turns to look at Janessa. A twisted smile spreads across his face. Janessa stops and stares at his menacing glare.
It's your call, Earth Mover. Hand her over, and you and your wife live. Fight this, and you can go to hell.
Then I'll see you down there, Reaper. Care, get Nessa! Run!
Earth Mover charges the Fire Reaper as Caroline jumps up and runs toward her daughter. The Fire Reaper collects a ball of white-hot energy and flings it toward Earth Mover. Earth Mover easily dodges the projectile and slams into the Fire Reaper.
You'll never have her!
Heroes of Extinction.
God can't help you, but I can.
Oh, what's happening to me? Who are you?
Oh, you don't want my help? Fine. Enjoy your evening.
The smooth voice fades away and the searing pain nearly splits Dr. Lewis in two. She falls back and closes her eyes.
No! Come back! Help me!
The pain subsides as the hypnotic voice returns.
Very well. I'll take away your pain, and in return, you must provide me a favor. Do we have a deal?
Anything. You have my word.
The pain is instantly diminished, and Dr. Lewis is left gasping for breath. Tears are streaming down her eyes, and she presses her fingers against her eyelids before pushing herself up to sitting and leaning against the nearest wall.
Oh, thank you.
And now, the favor.
Dr. Lewis blinks her eyes. A ribbon of warmth weaves itself into her psyche, and she leans into that feeling.
Are you still with me, my pet?
The voice holds on to Dr. Lewis's consciousness and leads her to the answer.
Yes, of course.
Very good. I need you to help me with a special project. Something near and dear to my heart.
Yes, of course. What is it?
I need you to make the next generation of Creme 27.
How can I? I only know part of the formula. That's why I'm here, looking for anything, a clue, to help me complete the final chain sequence.
You don't need the final steps in the chain. I've got another way.
But how can I move forward without a complete formula? I have no idea. Which direction can I go? Believe me, I've tried, and so far, every attempt has failed.
We can make a better formula. More stable, more powerful, less explosive. A truly transformative serum. Something no one has thought to do. Something that you will become famous for.
I don't know. Proton transfer and non-ionic reverse micelles. It's too dangerous. We don't have this simulation success. The multi-exponential decay can't be stabilized without regular infusion.
Hydro.
The voice floats through Dr. Lewis's head like a whispering ghost. It wraps itself around Dr. Lewis's ego and holds tight, planting images of award-winning work in her mind's eye. The scientist releases her resistance.
Hydro? Could it be that simple? Cremosine heliodone simply reconstituted as hydrodone? Of course! Any decay would be non-deleterious to anything outside of the structural housing.
We don't need them all to survive.
But it would still need a conduit, something to adhere to as it takes over its new host.
Et serpentium deoxyribinoculic acid.
Dr. Lewis closes her eyes as a formula appears in her thoughts. Yes, this is what she needs to make her mark, what she needs to finally gain the credit she deserves. She slowly stands and enters the lab. Turning on the lights, she sets to work in a trance-like state, creating the serum whispered to her by the mysterious voice. Once she completes the serum, she fills a syringe with the neon green sludge.
I don't have a host to try it on.
Any strong young man will do. Just get a subject. Anyone will do.
Anyone will do.
So, so that's a little sample of it for you there. Veronica, you want to talk about what it was like to record on this project? Because one of the interesting things is that, like I said, nobody was in the same spot. We were thankful that we actually had the ability to do some table reads through Zoom, but nobody was actually in the same spot recording. So you weren't with Kenny or with the little, what's the wonderful little girl's name?
Maeve Jensen.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Hello. It was an interesting project to work on, and unfortunately, we have this amazing career in the entertainment industry, so we were able to set up a recording area, studio, in our garage, and it helped a lot to be able to do Zoom meetings and to connect face to a wonderful script. And it was also important to be able to draw from personal experiences. I am a wife and a mother of 2 amazing children, 1 boy, 1 girl. And thankfully, I've never encountered a evil villain in real life. But thanks to those wonderful Disney movies, it was easier to channel that story, and as actors, we this is our discipline. Our bodies are our temple, and we use this tool to convey the dire situation that the script has been written out for us. So it was great, cathartic, and it was a wonderful challenge, and I am forever grateful to be considered and be a part of this amazing cast and this amazing group. Thank you.
You want to say something more? Come on up. Yes.
Yeah. Gwen is actually new to the team, but is a valued.
Amazing. I'm not lying when I say that she nailed it on almost the first take. It was
supposed to be a test take. I liked it so much that I didn't think of any other role to give her, because she nailed it.
Gwen was perfect for that, yes.
Yeah, and I'm very new to the voice acting world, but I grew up watching cartoons and Disney movies and just anything I could get my hands on, and it was such a great escape for me when I was younger, just to find something that I could connect to and find characters that I could work through my problems with, ranging from like My Little Pony to any Disney movie I could get my hands on. And when I found out that I actually could be a voice, it blew my mind. So I've been trying so hard to get to it, and I'm just so happy to be a part of a project. And it's so fun to just sit down and like go into a character, and then it's so funny because he'd be like doing this like really dramatic line, and then he'd be like, "Okay, how was that? Was that good?"
And first take is always great.
Yeah. And it was so cool to I like finally got like my mic, my official mic, because I'd done a couple little small voice acting gigs, but they weren't like really big. The main one I do is a little comic dub of a webtoon comic called Ingrid the Plague Doctor on YouTube. I play a character named Amber, and that was like my first ever like full length. Like I think we have 4 episodes out now. I think, I'm not too sure. I think it's 4. But that was my first one that I got to do, and it was fun to kind of figure out how to, like, I played around with my voice editing stuff. I learned where the echoes came from my room, and I went out and got like just a basic moving blanket from Ace Hardware, put it up. I have a bunk bed, so it was nice. I could hang it from the bunk bed and then have like a little studio. And then every so often my cat would come in and be like, "What are you doing?" And it was just so fun. And it was really fun to just do a small voice for this. And I'm so excited for the future.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
And that's, again, I think this points to one of the strengths of this project was that what could have been just a complete detriment is, that we're all locked down and hidden away and working from home and not under ideal conditions in a professional studio. We turned that around and actually made it our superpower, if you might say, to get everybody united and get everybody together and get everybody working on this.
Which isn't easy.
No, it's not easy.
Everybody has busy lives, their own schedule, but we all get together at some point and we go through a Zoom reading, and then I give them the green light to record the tracks and everything.
And so we're still working on it. It's still a work in progress. We've got several episodes finished and finishing up the last few now. And where can people find it when it's done?
Well, actually, they could find it. Thank you for asking, Bob.
All right, Bob.
We have a website. It's called heroesofextinction.com. And it'll have cast members. Oh, this gentleman has pulled it up.
There you go, yes. The site is a work in progress as well.
It is a work in progress, but it has things like the cast. You can get to see everyone who's in the cast. They have clips, music clips, bios, information, and merchandise soon, hopefully next year. And we're hoping to get this rolling. I don't want to release it till all 7 is done. There's 7 episodes in season 1. And I don't want to release them because I don't want to have to stop and say, well, we're not done, so you'll have to wait. I'd rather give it all to everybody. So it'll be hopefully very soon.
Yeah, because you're going to want to binge. You're going to want to listen to all of them.
It's really good.
Each episode is about 45 minutes, I'd say.
About 45 minutes,
So, do we have any questions? All right.
How challenging is it for you guys to start the editing, because you're like recording from different locations, because you have like different backgrounds?
He wants to know how challenging was the editing on this thing, because we're all in different places and recording stuff.
It can get really, really complicated because there's so many characters, and you have to really get used to the tracks, and you have to give them one specific track for one person, the next person, and so you have all these tracks. And what I do is I like to put them all together, and then as I'm recording, I pull who I need, and then push everything back, and pull this one who I need, push everything back. It takes a lot of time. I think one of the hardest part is getting like music to fit the span of time that you have in editing. What should I put in? What should I take out?
Because you want the pacing to be right for every scene.
You could really feel that it's been recorded in different locations. So
thank you. Yeah, I think another thing that was a challenge was because everybody's using different equipment, different locations, and sometimes the tracks are a different quality. Maybe there's some background noise, and also some of the voices we would distort them, like you heard on one of our villains there, Spectara. She has this sort of echoey, wispy voice that sounds like multiple voices speaking inside your head, and it was a trick trying to come up with that. The inspiration for that, by the way, if any of you can remember, maybe you've bought it at a MouseCon before, there was an old record album of the story of the Haunted Mansion, and it wasn't, the ghost host wasn't voiced by Paul Frees.
It was by Peter Renaday.
Thank you. Yes. Say it again.
It was by Peter Renaday.
Yeah, Peter Renaday. And they had this weird little echo on his voice, and I thought, wow, I want to do something like that for this character, and that's where I drew the inspiration from. So, for it to process yeah. Any other questions?
I'm sure everybody's favorite character is the guy that clapped his hands. I'm sure.
Yes.
That was me. That was my little contribution to the project.
That was excellent. You sounded just like Fractus. Yeah.
I did it in one take.
I don't have a question, it's more of a comment, but I love the way that you guys are beginning the marketing process, where you've got the website and you're starting to introduce characters, introduce the theme, introduce the concept, the story, and then as you have enough content ready to release it, so you're not leaving everybody in limbo because you released 3, but there's 5 to complete the first season, and now we're all waiting, twiddling our thumbs, and we lose interest, and then we go on to something else. So I just wanted to say that your approach to marketing it is great, because now everybody's going to start getting interested. They're going to be anticipating it. We're waiting. When you have all the episodes ready for the first season, you release them, and then we're hooked. And then hopefully, as we're binge listening, you guys are going to be working on the next season, so we don't have to wait too long for seasons 2 and season 3.
Right.
But I love your approach. It's fabulous.
Yeah, well, and also I think it's because we are also fans of the project ourselves, and we put ourselves in the shoes of the listener. Do listeners have shoes? I would kick my shoes off if I was listening to it. But we put ourselves in that position and thinking, well, what would we want if we were listening to this? We'd want to be able to listen to the whole 7 episodes and get the whole story arc for the whole season.
Exactly.
You know,
it started off with an idea of just getting older. What's that like for a superhero? And it snowballed into this big, adventurous episode. Season 1. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, and each of the main characters has their own backstory, which is part of why we get these little flashbacks at the beginning of episodes where you find out what happened with little Janessa when she was young, and her parents dealing with the Fire Reaper, and what happened after that. Each character gets that little bit of a backstory. And so it's like peeling back the layers of the onion as you go, deeper and deeper. The story keeps getting deeper and deeper. So.
I have a comment.
Yes.
When I got sent, I forget which episode you sent me, but you sent me 7. I got to listen to 7 before I got to do my voice take.
Oh, I sent you the first episode.
Yeah. So I got to listen to that the first time, and what I fell in love with it, which made me really excited to voice act in it, is that it's so descriptive that I was able to see everything going on while I was listening, and that's what got me so sucked in, is that I was like, oh my god, this is going to be so cool, because I can literally see every single movement that's going on while I'm listening. And that's what I was super excited to be a part of.
Any other questions? Yes?
I love the clips you guys showed. My question is, so when you have an audio-only type of approach to storytelling, how does that differ from a visual means for storytelling? Like how you would go about if it was a movie or a TV show? How does going from doing an audio-only differ?
Well, the first thing is, if it was a video thing, there'd probably be no narrator. So I'd be out of a job. But yeah, the hard part is you do have to paint this word picture, every scene, every action, everything, all the stuff that the audience, the listener, can't see, you have to paint that picture in their head.
Right.
And
the music comes into play too. If you're at a diner, you're going to hear the music that you would hear in a diner, or at your bar, you're going to hear, people. There's actually people in the background talking, conversation, dishes being washed. You can hear. I should throw in a fight scene. That'd be kind of.
It's like an old radio show.
It is.
Yeah,
it's very much like an old radio show.
Put the chair down.
Yes.
Well, I want to echo something also that we've talked about in our Zoom calls before, and props to Andrew for this too, because the narrator himself in an audio series becomes a character and sets the scene for what is going to happen or what is happening at that point. And it's not only a key part of the storytelling, but it is also a phenomenal way to set us up as the actors for what we're supposed to be doing in that scene.
Yeah.
So that is a major difference as far as, between something in video that you can just see versus something that's just in audio.
Right. And I got to credit the writer Samantha Alvin for that, because as she was playing into the strengths of the different cast members that were playing the different characters, she also did the same for me as the narrator. As she saw what I was doing with the narration, she made that narrator a character, the fly on the wall.
Yeah. She did a really good job writing this series. and I would give her feedback, and I would say, this is what I'd like to happen. We would talk, and then she said, I got an idea. And usually her ideas were like way better than what I thought of. But yeah, she did an amazing job. Joshua?
Oh, we have pins. If anybody wants to get a pin, it's our first merchandise. Really?
Yeah.
Pins and stickers, and they're up at my table up on the next
Actually,
floor.
you're the only one that's carrying it right now.
I'm the only one that's
Next
carrying
year
it.
when this blows up, it's gonna be.
Oh yeah.
But the merchandise site is still available, and you can get awesome shirts like this.
No, it's not available.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh.
Not yet.
Let's
You got an
rewind
exclusive.
time on that a little bit.
I'll edit that part out.
All right, yeah, we'll fix it.
We'll fix that in
I wanted to thank each and every one of you guys for coming to
Yes.
hear about my little project. It'll be out next year. You guys, we're gonna blast it. MouseCon, all the other Disney and comic related conventions. We're gonna talk about it and blow it up, and then you'll see it all over. But I'm really glad that you came in to get a sneak peek of what we're doing, all the effort that we're putting into this.
We should really thank them.
Yeah, and as a way of thanking you, I have a sticker with a link that you guys could go on and actually hear the whole complete first episode.
Yes.
So if you're interested,
Exclusive for you.
yeah, just for you. Thank you for your time and everything. Anybody have anything else they want to say?
Anything else you want to say here?
Anybody want to sing? Anybody want to?
Come on out to our table, say hi to us.
Yeah, hard pass on that.
It's a small.
Oh, no singing. Yes.
I just want to say that I personally know Jerry a little bit, and I got
I'm so sorry.
a sneak peek on the first episode, and to everyone, it's actually really awesome. I would recommend it to everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, Leia here is actually working on another project in the future that we'll discuss at another time. But she's a voiceover actress too, and I may have her in episode 1.
Yes. Yes, we have other audio projects in the works as well. Oh, we have a yes, Buzz.
Hi there.
Hi.
I just want to say thank you for giving somebody that's wanted to do this a chance. Gwen is my child, and boy, she has really put passion into it. And I'm glad you guys are giving her a chance.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was something that we were really adamant about too, is giving seasoned actors a chance, but also giving people who are new, fresh talent a chance to work on something as well, because it's not easy getting a foot in the door. As Veronica and all of us will let you know, it's not easy getting a foot in the door.
It really isn't, and even the people that we've invited to join this project was hard because we didn't know who to ask. We would test somebody, they weren't quite where. And then people started hearing a little bit about the project, or we'd show them a sample, and they'd say, how can I get involved? So it's really been snowballing. It's really been
pretty much everybody we've asked just said, yes, I want to be involved. Yeah.
Some even not even reading the script.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They just want to work with Andrew.
Yeah, when I talked to Mark Dodson, I could barely get the pitch out, and he goes, yeah, I'll do it.
I'm in.
So yeah. You had a question.
Yeah, quick question. So you create your content, you edit it, it's packaged, ready to go out into the world. How do you take timing into factor with it? Because you've got like a lot of competition out there. How do you
know when to release it and everything?
Right, yeah.
Well, when it's done, we'll release it.
Yeah,
That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't want it to get lost in the shuffle of anything. Like we could try to rush it out and get it done by before Christmas, so people could buy it as a Christmas gift or download it and listen to it during the holidays.
Yeah.
But people are really busy during the holidays, so I don't know.
Yeah. And then, like I said, because of the pandemic, everybody has their own personal obstacles or lives that they got to do. So, I'm at the mercy of when they can get done with their tracks, and that's fine. I mean, it's not life-threatening, so I can wait.
Yeah.
When I get ready. So.
Right.
Okay.
Before we go, did everybody get one? Did I miss anybody? Nope.
All right, going once.
Well,
going
again,
twice.
thank you so much for taking time.
Thank you. Stick around for the next panel.